Sanmonan, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday guys. So latest episode was rather very confusing but yet so interesting. Now the story changed from Saul is the one that introduced me to Musa Mselegu to I was working for Musa at his office while we were chaffazing or having an affair. I then became very close with his wife because obviously she would come to the office. Sazwana sadlula Musa Mselegu relationship here to yakula yadlula Musa Mselegu. She then found out about the affair, or Musa Mselegu told her about the affair. We spoke about it, she understood, and we continued. I continued working at the office. Now guys, it's very unfortunate that unfortunately Saula is not here to defend herself or to speak for herself, but this sounds too good to be true. It's either Saula had a heart of gold. A heart of gold. Imagine just finding out your best friend or your friend or someone you thought was your friend is sleeping with your husband, and you're like, it's fine, Chomi, you can continue working at the office, me and you are still best friends. I don't think so, guys. I don't think so, unless of course, like I said, she had a heart of gold, but I don't know. Now, let's look at the timestamps. Musa Mselegu said he loboled Saula days after paying ilobolo for Umacele. Now, if we're going to say days after, it's safe to say they got married same year. Now, year 2022, guys, Umacele and Mselegu have been married for 20 years, right? Meaning they got married 2002. Now, Saula then passed away in 2008 while things were still intense. That's 6 years later. Things were still intense. She wasn't staying in Mzumbe. She was staying... okay, we'll get to that. Now, same year, Saula passed away. He paid... same year, Saula passed away, guys. Musa Mselegu paid or married Khumalo and Mangwabi. Same year that he lost his wife due to a car accident. Hi. Now, I was able to get these timestamps, obviously, after Musa Mselegu mentioned Uguti, he and Mangwabe have been married for 14 years. Now, 14 years minus 2022, that's 2008, the year Saula died. And he mentioned Uguti, Khumalo no Mangwabe bayalamana. So I'd assume Uguti, they both have been married to Mselegu for 14 years, meaning 2008, the year Saula passed away. And Musa Mselegu is shocked Uguti why umndeni Saula is not fond of him. I mean, you didn't even take at least 12 months, 1 year to grieve your wife. You can continue dating, you can continue, but marrying two wives the year your wife died due to a car accident, and you are Now, Khumalo, just like Mangwabe, also started off as a side chick while Musa was married to his three wives, Umacele, Saula, and Mayeni. She then claims, in fact, both of them, Musa Mselegu and Khumalo, they claimed Uguti Khumalo finished building the houses. They started off building they started off bethi bazamuqedela umuzi kaMacele, but unfortunately they saw it's okay. Umacele since vele ngahlala eMzumbe, let's just build umuzi for Umayeni so that she can quickly move in. Now, honestly, guys, after this statement, I foresee trouble coming. I mean, this is 6 years after these people got married. And then, in fact, 7 years, because they claimed they started building, or they were finishing with the building 2009. So that's 7 years. So all that 7 years, where was Mayeni staying? Angazi, guys. This is just so confusing and interesting at the same time. Now, Musa also claims, or he also claimed he bought a house for Saula in Magit. Honestly speaking, guys, I don't know. Buying a house for Saula in Margate, but as soon as she died, he received a phone call that he should come and get his belongings, and he didn't fight. I mean, that was technically his house, because you can't really say, okay, since Saula had a child, that house now belongs to the child. No, if he bought it, that is his house. Unless if they sit down and sort of like have an agreement, it's okay, since you were married to Saula and she had a child, why don't you just give us the house? But how is this highlighted? Musa bought a house for Saula, and then Saula's family because of greediness or because babemsola ukuthi, you know, kukhona okushaya amanzi, kukhona isandla semfene, so they just called him and said, come fetch your belongings in his own house. I don't know. This is just so complicated and very interesting at the same time. I don't think Musa would have just let it slide if really he bought that house for Masaula. Since they are still continuing with the storyline, I would love to see that play out. To go see how did Musamselegu really buy. Hey, this is the same Musamselegu who failed to complete Indlu Emakaya for unkosikazi wakhe uMacele, and also build a house for his wife Umayeni. But you tell me he had the money to buy a house emasapapsini for Umasaul. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. Maybe they went half-half. Maybe uafaga something nyana, you know, 20 rand nyana, and he now claims he's the one that bought that house. But I doubt he's the one that bought that house. I think he would have fought if he bought the house. Not fought as in like, I want the house back, but fought as in like, you can't just call me and say I must come fetch my belongings in my own house. No matter what differences we have right now, and I know due to how your daughter passed away, but you can't just call me and say I must fetch my belongings in my own house. I think he would have fought if honestly, really, he bought that house with his own money, which I doubt. But okay, let's see how this plays out. It's very interesting to know go to how Tobile. Oh, hey, mina shem how Tobile. You're telling me what you were dating your best friend's husband while working at the office. You're dating your boss. Way. It's pity guys. It's pity. Do let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section down below. This is getting more and more interesting, and hopefully they will not leave the storyline hanging, because now we are interested in knowing Uguti. First of all, why Musamselegu, you know, he received that phone call and he respected the family. He went and fetched his belongings so easily. I don't think so. Second of all, I want to, there's a lot of questions that I personally have, because according to them, Utobile and Musamselegu, no Musa, they last saw Ulungelo the day of his mother's funeral. Why did it take them so long to reach out to Ulungelo? I mean, it's not like but I guess at the end of the day, because Umselego last, not this latest episode, the previous episode, he was like, because now Fana Noguti, you know, technically me and you are supposed to be, or me and you are Lungelo's parents, mom and dad. Mom and dad. After how many years? After 14 years, you want to come and claim because you are I don't know, maybe they're just pushing a storyline, but you can't just demand or claim, you know, you are supposed to be, or you are technically. Where were you all these years? You know, I would have understood, because Umusamselegu appears when he speaks, and he appears to be someone who has never really struggled financially, or after he married his wives, he never really had any financial struggles. It's not like, you know, he was rich and all, but you know, he was comfortable. He was able to sulubo like this one and that one, and you know, buy a house for Masaula, you know, continue building Macele's house and build Mayene's house. For me, that person doesn't appear or come across as someone who was struggling financially. So you're telling me, as soon as your wife died, and it's, you know, but as soon as your wife died, not even 3 years, nyana, you know, you sending money to the family and then they refuse us something, nyana. But I guess he wasn't your child. Anyway, guys, sasifuna impendulo. We still want to know ukuthi kwenzakalani la shem. Do let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section down below.